We are joined on set, fresh off the stage, by Miramizu.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hi, guys.
You've just played your first ever Primavera Sound?
Yeah. It was the first one.
How did it go?
Very fun, very fun. I feel like it was a perfect time, 6 p.m. It was the perfect day for it. People were already warmed up, but we got them warmed up all over again, and it was fantastic. Yeah.
And you played the CUPRA Pulse stage.
CUPRA Pulse stage.
Could you feel the mirrors moving to the beat?
I felt the stage moving. Everything was an earthquake at that time. I was surprised because I did a sound check, and obviously the monitors are not the monitors, but the outward speakers are not going. But as soon as I hit play out of sound check, it was like boom, and I was like, okay, all right.
Here we go. And you're based in Barcelona, right?
Yeah, I'm based in Barcelona.
I wanted to hear how does the festival set that you've just done compare to some of the club sets that you've done in Barcelona?
It was a bit more, I think, not too different actually. It was still very me. Still very much the same energy. And just testing the waters and see what people respond to. And that's, I think, always the way that it is for me, at least.
You've been in Barcelona for the last 8 years.
Yes.
Been living here for 8 years. What are some of your favorite clubs in the city?
Ooh, that's a great one. I'm not sure. I've been around a few spaces by now. I'm really a fan of the spaces that are within my community. Where we kind of hold sound gatherings or festivals. It's become less about the venue and more about the gatherings that I'm part of, and the parties that happen around the city within my community. Parties like Polyglot, collectives like Joko, and spaces like El Pumarejo. Yeah, it's a very special underground scene we have around here that I've been kind of brewing up. And to end up in a place like this,
Talk us through Polyglot a little bit, because I'm not mistaken, that means multiple languages, right?
Yes, and their idea, really, their party, it's run by two guys, Oli and Cal, from the UK. And their concept, I guess, is just to have a multi-genre party, just no limits. They bring all kinds of DJs from our community, from our scene, and even beyond, actually. And it's been growing a lot over the past few years, and it's fostered a crowd that tends to come back. So every time I play with them, I've played a few times by now, and every time I go back, I know the crowd that I'm gonna see, and I always vibe with them. I always have a good time.
So it feels like home.
Feels like home, totally.
Speaking of home, I did want to talk to you and ask you about what the music scene is like in Amman.
Oh yeah, it's been fostering quite nicely. Every time I go back, I don't go back too often. I go back maybe once a year, usually around Christmas. And it's been fostering slowly and gradually, and it's been nice. It's been very good to see people back home kind of create spaces and create just.
How do you feel like it has evolved over the last few years?
It went from nothing to just happening, it really wasn't there up until recently.
What are the popular musical styles over there at the moment?
It varies, we have everything from house, they love house out there, disco, Arabic music, it's just all kinds of music, very much the same here. It's not too much farther, but yeah, it varies.
I wanted to ask you, because we've touched upon Barcelona and touched upon Amman as well, if there's any particular influence that you feel like you're having, any musical artist or project that over the last year has inspired you to create.
Ooh.
Extra points if they're from either Amman or Barcelona.
Oh wow. I have a lot of good friends that encourage me to create within certain collectives. Within El Pumarejo or within Joko, these guys, they also create their own music. So it kind of gives you a boost to say, oh yeah, for sure, I want to be able to do that too. And I went from, I moved here and I was not a DJ. I was a painter primarily. I came here to paint. I came here to learn to draw and paint. And over time, that creative expression evolved into music. And yeah.
Wow. Can I ask you, this has just made me really curious, how is the painting process similar to the process of creating or curating a set list?
Definitely in the ways of like sketching out ideas to then realizing something in the end. There's always this in between where you're not sure where it's gonna go, but you have these kind of landmarks, these kind of I don't know how to say it, like save points in a game, you know, like you know where you're headed, you know more or less the idea you have, the journey you want to create, but it's not up to you in the end. It's up to, in the context of painting, how the material reacts and how things evolve, and maybe you paint a happy accident and that changes your route a bit. Same with the crowd, you know, the way that they respond. I always have ideas, I always have mini sequences. And then over time, I just see how the people respond, and I'm like, okay, a bit more of this, a bit more of that, and we write it out together, so yeah.
And as a multifaceted creative then, do you feel like there's any part of your brain that has another thing that you'd like to give a go?
Making music for sure has been like kind of in the back of my mind. I've been kind of dabbling here and there with sounds, because creating with sound is also, you know, quite interesting, and trying, I just feel like a child with crayons all over again, you know, discovering a new medium that I hadn't had much experience with, and just seeing where it goes and seeing how it develops. But honestly, I wouldn't make you listen to any of it because it's a hot pile of crap.
But like you said, I think as well it's about experimenting, right? And about the happy accident. Because I think with songwriting or song creation, sometimes you start with a really fixed idea in your head, and then all of a sudden it takes a completely different turn.
For sure.
So what is next for you, Mira?
So here's the thing. I gave up on planning my routes. I gave up on planning my life because it's just every time something comes up that I like, I'm indecisive, and in this case, it's worked out in my favor, and I've been fortunate to be able to kind of ride the wave in that sense. So I'm just willing to see where things go from here. So yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We look forward to maybe hearing some of your own music soon.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.